So, a little over a year ago, I was at my mum's place and I told her I was invited to attend the first TEDxVenlo, TEDx 2014. Who or what is TEDx? She said, of course. TEDx is a speaker's event for inspirational stories and ideas. Ooh, well, that sounds great. And what are you going to talk about? Mom, I'm not going to talk. I'm in the audience. And by the way, I would never, ever speak on a TEDx stage. I'm way too chicken for that. And now, 1 year later, and I'm still feeling quite chicken. But a chicken on a mission, a social mission. And therefore, I want to tell you my story. And my story starts with Cecilia. Cecilia is 85 years old and she lives in my neighborhood. And sadly, time is catching up on her. She isn't able to walk to the city markets anymore to get her favorite baked fish. Memory is letting her down, so sometimes she just doesn't know what day it is. And preparing herself a decent dinner costs her too much energy, so she often ends up with a sandwich, a baked egg, or a microwave dinner. That's when her daughter, she lives an hour away, and she had found me on an online cooking community, asked me if I was willing to bring Cecilia some of my meals occasionally. At first, I saw all kinds of reasons why I should not do it. I don't have time for it. Will she like the student-like dinners I prepare? What if she isn't nice and her house is smelly and she complains about the weather all the time? But, such as in many occasions, my curiosity was stronger, so I started. Twice a week, I stood on Cecilia's doorstep with a plate of fresh food. At first, in helping her. But as time went by, I noticed I liked these visits too, mostly because of the conversations we had. Sitting on a brown leather couch, we talked about the past, family, society nowadays. Very valuable words, and that made me wonder, is Cecilia the only one in this situation? What is the position of our elderly these days? So I started doing some research, and both governmental studies and interviews with health and welfare organizations learned me two things. Two issues in the age group of elderly living at home. The first one is malnutrition. And yes, you heard that correct. There is malnutrition in a prosperous country such as the Netherlands. 7% of our elderly are underfed. Most of the time, this is a result of a period of grief, unhappiness, or sickness, where a person has no energy to take good care of himself, therefore will not cook well, will not eat well, lose muscle volume, therefore has less energy to take good care of himself, will not cook well, will not eat well, etc., etc. A vicious circle. The second issue is, less surprisingly, loneliness. Did you know 43% of our elderly feel lonely on a regular basis, and a painful 10% feel lonely all of the time? That's always. Can you imagine how that must feel like, being lonely from the moment that you wake up till the moment that you go to bed? Painful. A feeling of nothingness, torn up, drowning, scared. These are a few of the words that lonely people have used in describing how they feel. Loneliness is also described as a kind of hunger, and we all know how that feels, being hungry. Your stomach is growling, it feels empty, and when you don't get fed, it will even hurt. And your mind, the only thing you can think of is food. In much the same physical and emotional way, loneliness is a hunger for people to be around us, for people to love us. The philosopher Aristotle, he called us social animals in that we need other people. When we are abandoned, for example, on a deserted island, we even make pseudo-friends. Robinson Crusoe, for example, he made friends out of the animals on the island. And in the movie Castaway, Tom Hanks, he made friends with, who knows? Yes, the ball. There he is. Wilson. Awesome movie. So you see, the need for people is a very real need. And now, who do you know who is likely to feel lonely? Who is sitting in front of the TV for hours and hours, waiting for family to visit? And what do? I know we're all busy people with busy lives, but let's say it was you sitting there. Wouldn't you be glad if somebody was giving you some quality time? That somebody would see you? Because that's what it's all about. We all want to be seen. It's my dream to live in a world with more care for each other and our planet. And with that dream in mind, and my experience with Cecilia, I came with the concept called Soup Matches. With Soup Matches, I'm creating a community with volunteers and elderly. Twice a week, we're going to make soup, which will be delivered to the elderly by their body. Why soup? Why not? Soup is delicious, it's nutritious, it's warming, it's soothing. We are also going to organize activities and deliver enjoyable content, online and offline. Now, how does that look like? Let's take Barbara. Barbara is the buddy of Maria. On a Tuesday, she goes to a pickup point in her neighborhood where she picks up the soup and goes to Maria. They sit down and talk through the day, eating a nice warming bowl of soup. Barbara also brought the Soup Buddies newspaper, in which they can read what is happening in the community. What are the opinions of the elderly on the topic of the month? Which Soup Buddies couple is in the spotlight? And what activities are there being organized? I want this community to be positive, respectful, but also surprising. Surprising in the activities we organize and surprising in the connections we are going to make. I personally really believe in the connection between old and young people. So I really want to involve the young people in this too. So altogether, Soup Buddies contributes to health, it decreases loneliness, and it stimulates social cohesion. But most of all, this concept is about giving back some status to our oldest generation. Our elderly cannot keep up anymore. Let's not pass them by. It's them who have built up our society, our prosperity, our freedom. And isn't it time we cherish this and find a valuable place for them where they can share their treasure of knowledge, experiences, and stories? We want to give a stage for that. Soup Buddies is an example of so-called social entrepreneurship, a quite new way of thinking which combines social and commercial, or how to say, people, planet, profit. I want to make impact on all these levels. On a social level, by giving our elderly a better place, more visible place, by enriching our society with the stories of the elderly, and by giving more meaning to the lives of the volunteers, who, by the way, will be rewarded, not in financial value, but in social value, learning, experience. For example, let them attend a show in the local theatre or arrange a course in flowery or computering. And with that, I want to collaborate with the local companies and create economical value. But also on ecological value, I want to be different. Let's make the soup out of products that otherwise would be wasted. Think of the vegetables we don't want because of their looks. We all know the crunched peppers, the curved cucumbers, the two-legged carrots. Or think of the products that supermarkets have to throw away because they aren't perfect or they aren't sold in time. There's so much unnecessary food waste. Let's use it. Let's create impact to the max. So this could be the moment where you would say, Kim, this is a great idea. Go on and do it. Make it happen. And then I could say, thank you, yes, I will make it happen. But then reality kicks in. Because I can't do this on my own. I don't want to do this on my own. I'm willing to take the lead, but this initiative should be of the whole community. Because together we can really create something that has truly impact. So I need ambassadors who want to share my story. I need volunteers who want to be a buddy. I need advisors to help me make decisions in financial or business part. I need writers to capture the stories of the elderly. I need photographers to make the most beautiful pictures. I need sponsors and investors to really make this happen. And I need organizations who want to collaborate in any which way they can. So I want to ask you, each one of you, what you can bring to this society, directly or indirectly, big or small. And I'm not asking you to commit for years, but I'm asking you to help me with the first step, setting up a pilot in which we can try things out, make mistakes, learn from them, and in the end, develop the right strategy and concept that suits elderly, volunteers, and organizations. So please, take a minute and think of what you can bring. No. I want you to think. So, and now the cool part. It is going to happen. There's belief in my concept. I won a social business model pitch in Amsterdam. An entrepreneur offered to help me with the short-term strategy. I spoke to a school, a local school in hospitality, who wants to organize cooking workshops for volunteers and elderly. So it is going to happen. And if you share my dream, then please join in. If you want to make the world a better place, we're going to start in our own community. Think global, act local. So the chicken has spoken. Please feel free to speak to me afterwards or find me on social media if you have any suggestions, questions, or ideas. Thank you very much.